Hi beauties, thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Jacob. I am a makeup enthusiast here on YouTube and social media, dabbling in a few different things here and there, but mainly all things makeup and beauty. If you are joining me again, thank you guys so much for coming back. In today's video, I'm going to be doing another little random palette bingo using my Spin the Wheel app on my phone. I'm also just going to be chit-chatting and getting ready. No real plans, but just wanted to do some makeup and talk to you guys about what's going on in my life, giving you a little update, just getting your guys' thoughts and opinions hopefully down in the comments once this video is over. But I don't want to babble on too much longer. I will say, if you haven't already, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing down below. I really do appreciate it and appreciate all your love and support, you guys. But yeah, let's get straight into the video. I'm gonna pull out my phone and we'll get started spinning the wheel. I'm gonna tap on my Spin the Wheel app, go to my palettes, and let's see what we get today. So, looks like Topaz Obsessions. I believe that is one I haven't used. Let me grab that and I will be right back. I am back with the palette, and it is one that I have not used before. This is a Huda Beauty palette. It is one that my friend at my previous job gave to me. Her name was Mandy. Thank you so much, Mandy. So I am going to be dipping into this. You guys, if you are new here, you don't know, but you will find out very shortly. I am not very neutrally of a person. Usually I do love a little bit more color, but I think the mattes look at least warm tones, so that is something that I do enjoy, and I can make something work. I may grab something from back there just to add some kind of shimmer to it, but let's just get started here. I do want to get my eyes primed, so let me do that really quick, and then I will be right back. I am back. I have my eyeshadow primer on. Today I am using the Revolution Cut Crease Canvas in the Halo shade. We're going to be using the Topaz Obsessions from Huda Beauty. I have not tried this palette yet, so it should be pretty interesting to see how it turns out. To start, I'm going to use a domed fluffy blending brush. I think I'm going to go in with this orange tone right here in the corner. Looks pretty pigmented. Let's see how it goes on. And you guys might notice
this eye primer does crease on me a little bit because I do have hooded eyes, and it dries down pretty well everywhere that I don't have a fold, but my eyelids can get a little greasy. So just remember to tap out any creases before you put down your powder shadow. Or if you do not like to work with a tacky base, you can always just set your eyeshadow primer with a translucent powder.
Just gonna start with a general shape. I don't really have a plan for today. Obviously, I went in with a palette bingo because I didn't even know what eyeshadow I wanted to use, but let's just see where this takes us. You guys might notice, as I was saying, sorry, I've switched up some things in my beauty space here. I just thought that this would give me the best lighting that I could get. Got my beauty room. Sorry, it's not a room, it's just a space. It's like a corner in my bedroom. Got that all organized this morning and wanted to get this video filmed. I did try to film this video once. It did not go very well, both the look and I just got a little too emotional. So I decided I would try to refilm this video, get my thoughts a little bit more together so I could hopefully... The video was a little too out of hand for my taste. So yeah, I was like, let's try to refilm this. I have this shade pretty much where I want it now. It's not fully blended, but I'm just mapping out the colors. This Dew Color number 2 brush, it's a more fluffy blending brush than that first one. I think I'm gonna take this mustardy yellow shade. I'm gonna use that to blend on top of here. And yeah, Huda Beauty is not usually a brand that I gravitate towards, so I've never purchased any of their products. Sorry, my mom had to see if I went somewhere without her. Sorry, where was I? What was I saying? Oh yeah, so Huda Beauty is not usually a brand that I gravitate towards. I don't really know how I feel about the brand owner either. Not that I don't like her, I don't know very much about her, but the stuff that I have heard about her is not the most professional. I was happy to receive some of the Huda Beauty palettes that my friend Mandy was getting rid of, and this is my first time using anything Huda Beauty. So far, everything's looking pretty good. So let me get these creases blended out where I like them, and then I'll come back to do the next color. I have these two colors blended out. Next, I want to take this next deepest orange shade right here in the center. It
kind of looks the same as this to me, but hopefully it'll be a little bit more rich in color.
I'm gonna pack that on the outer V and just blend that up into the crease. I'm gonna use the Trixie P08. It's like a tapered blending brush. And yeah, these do definitely have a lot of pigment on the brush when you pick them up. So they're a little powdery. And I kind of want to use this shade as a base to the deepest shade that I'm gonna put right on top of it, really. So just gonna blend this, like I said, right here in my outer V and up into the crease. And this is blending out really well. I will say that even though they are a little dusty in the pan, they are blending out really well and really easily together. So definitely not mad about the palette. I am, as I said, a bit more of a colorful person, but these are warm tone neutrals, so at least I like the color that it's giving. But yeah, as I said, I did try to film this video once the other day, and it just didn't work out very well. The look, well, first of all, the palette bingo gave me another unmentionable palette, even though it was probably my favorite of the unmentionable palettes. Yeah, so there was that. I got a little emotional just talking about some of the things that I'm gonna be bringing up a little bit later in the video. I wanna keep things light. I wanna make sure that everybody who watches this video leaves it feeling positive and like it was a good experience for everybody. But the way things are going in today's world, it's not real easy to be so positive all the time. The next shade I'm going to take from the palette is the deepest shade right here, this deep brown shade. I'm going to pack right over on top of the last shade we just put down in my outer V, and I'm going to be using this Revolution R2 Fluffy Eye Brush to do it. Just the way things are going in today's world and in society, it has not been the easiest to remain positive. And for me, someone who deals with depression and anxiety, it can definitely begin to take its toll. So that leads me into the first thing I've been doing, which is binge watching. That is beautiful. Binge watching everything that I can on Netflix about true crime or reality TV, and not just on Netflix. So just keeping my mind occupied as best as I can with TV shows. What are some of the TV shows that you guys are watching or you guys are enjoying as far as stuff to binge watch? Like I said, I do love true crime documentaries or limited series. I always tune in for those. And then anything reality TV I love, like Survivor. I watch every season. I've seen a lot of them multiple times, and I think that's looking so pretty so far. RuPaul's Drag Race, of course, is one of my all-time favorite shows. I think that I got really involved in RuPaul's Drag Race when My sister was working, well, first of all, my sister was living with us, and she was working at this restaurant as a waitress, and her friend, she was also working there, and she ended up needing a place to stay. So she moved in with us for a little bit and rented out a room. And I remember I went into her room one day to do or grab something. I don't remember what, but she was watching RuPaul's Drag Race, and I was like, what is this? And I want to say that it was like season 2 or season 3. And she was like, oh, this is RuPaul's Drag Race. You've never heard of it? And I was like, no. So immediately after I saw her watching that, I delved headfirst into the world of drag. And since then, I have been watching every season. So yeah, I've watched every single season. This season, I am absolutely in love with Mistress Isabel Brooks. I have a strong inclination that she is not going to win, but I do feel that she is probably become one of my all-time favorite queens. I definitely want to see her and meet her and support her by purchasing some merch and probably getting a poster so that I can get that signed and put that up in my room. But yeah, she's definitely become one of my favorite drag queens. A lot of people have thought that she was pretty controversial this season just because she was so outspoken. She's so shady. But I really do think that she's never come from a bad place. She's always come from a place of love or truth. And if she is being shady, it's probably because she loves you. Like, she's not going to be shady to you if she doesn't like you. You know what I'm saying? So she's probably one of my favorites. They're already down to the top 4. I was so happy. If you guys haven't seen the latest episode, I would skip 10-20 seconds because I'm about to spoil it for you. I was so happy that nobody went home, and even though Mistress and Anitra were in the bottom, I knew that Rue was not about to send the girl who just caught up to Sasha in the last episode and won her 3rd win this season. I knew she wasn't going to send her home. What else have I? Oh, the last video that I filmed, if you guys haven't watched it, I'll leave it linked up in the cards for you. The last video that I filmed, I was wearing a look that I did to go to the movies to see the new Scream movie. And I absolutely loved every single second of it. I think that I have pretty much everything on my lid and in my crease that I'm going to have. Let me go ahead and make sure that I've got everything blended where I like it, and then once I have that, I'll come back and we'll get started on putting some shimmer on the lid. Alrighty, beauties, so I am back. I got everything blended to where I'm liking it. I do want to blend the crease just so that that mustard yellow shade from the palette isn't looking too harsh. So I'm going to use the Park Princess palette from Tarte, and I'm going to take the enhanced shade right here, and that's what I'm going to use to blend that out. I'm going to take just a big fluffy blending brush. This is the P07 from Trixie. And we're just gonna blend all around the eye with this. Kind of just make sure I'm setting any primer that I didn't put shadow on, but also getting rid of any harsh lines. And this shade in the palette does have a slight yellow undertone, I would say, as opposed to Halo, which has a slightly pinker undertone. So I think that this will work perfect with this more warm tone neutral eye. Do you see the difference? I feel like I can see the difference. Like how the line here just seems to fade into nothing instead of being like you can see that line there. Hopefully I'll be able to show you on this eye, because I feel like that blend on the yellow was a little bit harsher over here. So yeah, just catching up on television programs. I did just finish the first season of Yellow Jackets on Showtime. That show was real interesting, I'll say. I'm not going to give anything away. I know that season 2 just started. I'm not going to watch it just yet because I am more of a binge watcher, so I'll wait till the season comes out and then I'll just binge watch the whole thing. So while I wait for that to come out or complete, I definitely wanted to check out the new series on Amazon, or at least it's new to me. I just heard about it, I would say like maybe a week or two ago, called Swarm. So if you guys have watched that on Amazon Prime, definitely let me know what you think, because I feel like I'm gonna dive into that show next, now that I finished the first season of Yellow Jackets. So do you guys see how like that just kind of blends that harsh line away? I mean, you guys could just do this with a blending brush that doesn't have any product on it, but I do feel like when you use like your translucent powder to do it, it just comes across a little bit more airbrushed. So yeah, that is pretty much everything I'm going to use as far as the matte shades. Ooh. So before we get started on the, sorry, I'm still adjusting. So before we get started on the face, I do want to finish and put some shimmer on the eyes. And first, I'm going to take this Unmentionable liquid lipstick. This is a metallic-y brown. This Kimchi Chic No Sparkle Shaming Femme Top Liquid Eyeshadow, and this came in a duo with the Naomi Smalls collection, so I'm not sure if they sell that as a single, but if you are looking for it on the website, it will definitely be under the duo with Naomi Smalls. First, I'm going to take it on the back of my hand, and that is definitely too much, but whatever. I'm going to use this painting brush that I bought in a set from Amazon. This is what I'm going to use to cut the middle of my crease going into my outer V. And this is blending in really well already with the outer V shade, so I'm not going to go too crazy, but I do want to be able to see it when my eyes are open, so make sure that, making sure that I kept my eyelid open so that way I know when my eyes are open you can still see that crease. So I did need to bring the matte shade a little bit higher in my crease, but I'll go ahead and do that once I've got my shimmer down. I'm just gonna catch the other eye up really quick. There is that. Next, I'm gonna take the Kimchi Chic shade, doing the same thing, just popping it on the back of my hand, and then I'm gonna pick it up with a flat detail brush. I feel like my chair is too big for my desk sometimes. I hope not. If the camera's moving, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to readjust once I get this on. Okay. So that's what that is looking like with those two. I have to take a little bit more. I will say this Kimchi liquid eyeshadow, it just has no sparkle shaming, so I'm not sure if this is like a pot de creme or a diamond shards. I want to say it's a diamond shards just because it's got so much glitter in it. They do dry down pretty fast, so you want to work quick, especially if you're doing my method of applying it to the back of your hand and then onto the brush and then onto your lid, which I completely understand. That seems like a lot, but I really just don't like putting the paddle on my eye. I just don't think it's that hygienic. The camera is moving. Why? I'm so sorry. if you want to, you could stop here. There is plenty of shimmer going on, but I am going to be using one of the shimmers from this Huda Beauty palette, and then I decided that they weren't giving me enough. I needed a little bit more as far as my shimmer was concerned. So I am going to be taking a shimmer from another palette just to complete the look. Now that I have the tacky base down that I'm using to hold on to my shimmers on the lid, I'm going to be grabbing, I'm going to be using this shimmer up here in the corner as the shimmer on the center of the lid. And I'll take my BH Rose Gold number 7 flat detailer brush. And it looks like a nice bronzy shimmer with a pink shift in it. And then I will also give it a little spritz just to do all I can. And just tapping that over where I have the Unmentionable liquid lipstick. Once I've tapped it all, I do like to drag the brush just to make sure I'm packing down the pigment as much as I can. But if you guys have your methods, do what you like. So I think that is pretty. Yeah, I think that's really pretty. So now that I've got that done, I do want to take that Revolution Fluffy Eye Blending Brush and the Deepest Brown that we used from the palette and just make sure that I've got everything blended on the outer V and that everything is lining up and matching in the crease. Okay, yeah. So definitely been catching up on some television as well as stuff here on YouTube. I'm pretty sure that I've watched all the Makeup Murder Mystery Mondays from Bailey Sarian, and then I am catching up on the Dark History podcast that she uploads on YouTube as well, both of which are very entertaining. And I'm also watching a lot of this new YouTuber who I've just stumbled upon. Her name is Jessica Kobesi. She does a lot of reaction videos. I think that she's a photographer when she's not on YouTube, but she does a lot of reaction videos, and the ones that I've been watching are her reacting to America's Next Top Model and just how cringy some of the episodes are. I've been watching a lot of her. So I'm pretty much done now blending out the outer V. I think everything is looking really good. For the last shimmer, I'm going to dive into the Killer Queen Cosmetics Anti-Valentine's Day palette. I honestly don't even know if this brand exists anymore. If they do, I know that they don't go by Killer Queen Cosmetics anymore, but I will tell you time and time and again, I paid over $100 for this palette, and it is not worth it.
Not that it's not amazing. The black is the only matte in here, works fantastic. The shimmers, all of them, fantastic, but I can get this palette, I have gotten this palette already from another cosmetics company, and basically the same thing. Except I don't think that they have a black in it, they have all shimmers.
MBA Cosmetics Iridescent Bubbles palette is a good dupe for this palette if you're not able to find it or if you don't want to spend that much money on it. Sorry, I was babbling on. I'm going to take the shade Ghosted right here, and that's what I'm going to use for the rest of my lid. Spritzing my brush again. I don't know if I'll even include the spritz. Usually I don't. Ooh, this shimmer. Like I said, it is nothing against the palette. The palette works magnificently. Every shimmer in the palette is so good. Like, I love all the dimensions, all the colors that it gives, everything about it. Just that price is not, it's not the one. And honestly, if I would have purchased the MBA Iridescent Bubbles palette before I knew about this palette, I probably wouldn't own this palette. Just because I'm telling you they're the same. I am using the same brush for both shimmers, so now I'm just going back and forth on each side of the brush to blend them together on my lid. That does it. That does it for me. I love shimmer. I've just been catching up on TV for the last couple weeks, and I have had so much time to do so because I was recently let go from my most recent job. I definitely wasn't expecting it, but things happen. I can tell you that I was not happy there. I have my 2-week notice still in my bag right now that I was planning on giving them. I just have been putting it off, I would say. They brought me into the office after I had done basically majority of the day. It was around like, I would say 2, maybe 3. And they just let me know that my attitude, my depression, my anxiety had really been showing at work lately. And they had given me one warning, how long ago? Maybe a month or 2, possibly even 3. I know it wasn't over 3, but they gave me one warning, and that was just to improve my attitude and make sure that, anything that I was bringing into work, I was leaving at the door, which I definitely understand. Like, I really shouldn't have been bringing anything from home or from my personal life into work with me. But what I think is the funniest thing is I didn't hear anything after that other than maybe like a week later, my manager was working with me in the front area. I had just come back from rooming a patient, and she let me know that she was so happy to see that I was, really working on improving it, and she could definitely see a difference. And then I was fired. The next thing I knew, I was fired, which is fine. Like I said, I was not happy there and was definitely thinking about moving on. I just wanted to make sure I had some eggs in some baskets before I just jumped out of that one. But it's okay. I have secured another position, thankfully. I am really happy that I have a great resume and great experience on that resume. So I was able to go ahead and get a new job that I'll be starting on Monday. Wish me luck, guys. I will say for this job that just let me go, let me get my face cleaned off and then I'll be right back and we'll get started on the face. Alrighty, beauties, so I am back. I got my eyes cleaned up. I feel like I took this one a little bit too high. This one's looking pretty good, but I will try to fix that once we have more of my face on. I did go ahead and prep my skin with this Revolution Superfruit Replenishing Essence Spray and then the Superfruit Extract. It is a antioxidant serum and primer. So I did go ahead and prep my skin with that. And then I have started a little bit here on the sides of my face with some contour. For cream contour today, I'm using the matte lipstick from NYX in the shade Butter. And it looks like this. Again, this is something that Mandy gave to me. And I knew that I would not use this as a lip color, but I thought that the shade was pretty perfect for a contour. And so far, I really do like it for that. If I ever feel like I have got a harsh line going on with cream contour, I'll just take my sponge and kind of dab over the harsh line that I'm seeing. As I was saying before, I took a little break to clean up. The job that I was just let go from, I definitely think it was probably the most unprofessional way I've ever been let go. As I thought about it more, I've definitely realized that no other well, to be fair, I've only been fired one other time, but even if I was like let go or laid off, I definitely just think that there's a way to handle it. But a little story time, the only other time I've ever been fired was from my very first job at a movie theater. And I started there when I was 15. And they fired me when I was like almost 17. So I think that I was there for just about 2 years or a little over 2 years, something like that. But what had happened was I was there for, hang on, I dropped my sponge. I was there for so long that people and friends at school knew that that's where I worked. And sometimes people would ask me if I could get them into the movies for free or if I could get them discounts and things like that. And usually If I could, I would definitely do what I could, because I'm just a people pleaser, or at least I was that way back then. Because I definitely learned from this, but I would definitely try to do what I could for my friends. So for my nose contour, I like to use angled blending brush. You guys use your methods that work for you. It's all makeup, so if it doesn't work out, you can just take it off. But yeah, so people got used to taking advantage, I would say. And I will admit that this was completely on me. The friend who came in that night and I gave a discount to, she did not ask me to do it, but I don't know, it was just something that I felt like was expected of me from my friends if they ever showed up at the movies while I was working. But I made a mistake. It was a busy night, either like a Friday or a Saturday, and I was working in the concession. My manager, who was working in the concession with me that night, she just happened to be working at the register right next to mine. And we were, as I said, very busy, so she was literally working on the register. I feel like the contour looks pretty good.
I'm gonna add some to this double chin now.
So she was working at the register next to mine, and I don't, like, it literally baffles me because I was just so cocky about it, like, just so,
Oh yeah, my friend's here, getting her discount. I'm gonna look so cool to my friend because I got her a discount on her food at the movies.
So basically what I did was anything that she asked for, I went and got, except if, let's say she asked for a small soda, I got her a large soda, and I rang it up as a small soda. So I was very just like, yeah, here, take it. Yeah, here, take it. Stealing, basically. And what I rang up, like I said, did not match what I gave her. And then when she turned around and left my concession line, she went to her friend who I didn't even know she was there with, because I don't even think I knew this friend. Like, she didn't go to my school or anything, so I don't remember the friend very much. The only thing that I do remember about the friend is that she went over to her, obviously told her what I had just done for her, and then the friend exclaimed to the entire lobby, "What? I want a discount too!" Yeah. So once that happened, I'm gonna do a little bit of bronzer. I bought the Kimchi Cheek Multitask Concealer, or the Most Concealer. This is the shade Medium Tan. I wanna just see if this is gonna make a good bronzer, and if not a bronzer, would it make a good contour? So I'm gonna give this a shot today. So she exclaimed that to the lobby, and I mean, I knew that my fate was sealed, basically. I was just waiting for it. It was maybe like 5 or 10 minutes, and the manager who was working concession left concession, said she had to go to the office to do something. And then it was maybe 30 minutes or less after that I was called into that same office, and I knew I was in for it. So the manager that was working concession had gone straight up to the office to, I'm gonna take a little damp sponge to blend out this concealer that I'm using as bronzer or contour. I'm trying to keep it back here because I don't know what it's going to look like yet. I haven't tested this shade out for anything. So right now I'm just putting it in the spot that I would usually put a bronzer. I got called into the office, and there was the manager from concession, there was the general manager, and then there was also someone from HR. And yeah, I do think this is too warm to be contour, so it's bronzer or it's nothing, basically. It was those three people in the room, and they had pulled up the video, they had pulled up the receipt. Mama, they were coming for the gig. They were coming for me, and I was just like, oh, sorry, I'm so sorry, I did a bad thing. I did apologize. I did let them know that I knew what I was doing was not right, and I was pretty much just doing it because I was a 16-year-old who was trying to be cool and get his friends free shit at the movies while I was working there. So they just let me know that I had to go ahead, and this is beautiful. Now that I've really applied it, I'm like, wow, look at that tan. They just let me know that I needed to go clean out my work locker and that I would no longer be, they told me that I would like not be able to be employed by any AMC ever again because I was fired and because of the reason that I was fired. So when I was 16, that shook me. I was devastated. I know that I cried because I was just so embarrassed. But lesson learned. And like I said, since that, I have never even offered someone a discount at my job unless I like knew it was something that I was able to offer them. Because at the movies when I worked there, I was able to get like any immediate family, they were allowed to get free movies as well as I was, even if I was working. While if my friends wanted to go to the movies and get free tickets, I would have to like bring them and vouch for the tickets. Like I would have to like sign this form and everything. So I was really bummed. I've never really tried to apply at another AMC. I definitely would work there again because it was really a great job. I learned a lot about customer service there, and I've definitely taken the experience, like I said, especially the firing experience with me and have learned from that. So I definitely do think that I would work at a movie theater again. So this is cream contour and cream bronzer. For cream blush, I do have two options, and I'm going to use them both because I am who I am. The first one is this She Glam liquid blush. I've got the shade Birthday Suit, a nice like nudie orange. And then I thought as like a blush highlight topper kind of situation, just to make it look real orange. This is an Unmentionable, and it's like a pumpkin orange with a gold reflect in it, so it's kind of like a blush lighter. At least that's how I'm gonna use it. I have not ever used this She Glam liquid blush since I bought it, using this angled brush. Oh, wow. That's really pretty and blended out beautifully. I don't know if you can really tell. I think you can tell. Like this side compared to this side. That is really pretty. I do really like the component that it comes in, and it does have a little ball in there to shake up the product. And it really just blends out. I don't know if it's just because I have like a lot of neutral going on my face right now, but I just think that this blended out beautifully. Gonna try to blend it into the bottom of the eye just so that, like I said, I think that I went a little bit too high with this one, so I'm just gonna try to make them look as symmetrical as I can. Now I'm gonna use this liquid lip. I almost put it on my nose first. I don't know why. Gonna start there, and hopefully this will blend out nice. Keep in mind when you're using products that you're repurposing for something that they weren't intended for, because like I said, this is a liquid lipstick, you probably do want to work a little bit faster than normal, or at least have something like a setting spray or a damp sponge nearby, so that if it dries too fast on you, you can give it some more life to get it a little more malleable. Or if you think it's going a little bit too ham, just take it down with your sponge. I don't know why, because usually I'm not a brush person, but with a lot of cream products, I do find myself liking to blend out with a brush. And then, like I said, if I feel like I've gone too ham with applying the product, I will take my sponge and I'll just tap right over it. And I feel like that just brings it down to a level where, or at least it blends it out to a level that I'm happy with. I think that that is pretty as fuck. So that is going to be blush. So I'm gonna put on some liquid highlight, and for that, I'm going to take this Huda Beauty highlighting palette. Again, something that was gifted to me by Mandy. Thank you so much, Mandy. I really do love you. I'm gonna miss working with you, girl. Especially getting all the free makeup, but you know where I'm at. I'm gonna take this, it's called Capri shade, and it does say this is step 1, so I'm assuming that this is like a cream highlight. I'm just gonna pick it up on this same brush that I've been using to blend everything else out, because I'm just not in the mood to dirty something else. I don't know if this will be the best method. So I've never really played with this. Does feel like it's not gonna pick up a whole lot of product or dispense a whole lot of product. I completely forgot my ears. No wonder I feel weird. Unless you use like a finger, because you kind of have to warm it up. See, right there's where I put my finger. I was dabbing all over it with the brush, but you can't really even tell because the brush didn't pick up very much. It's a pretty highlight. I'm not usually big on using my fingers, but I don't mind all that much as long as the product is working. It's not picking up or lifting, so that's good. But it looks super pretty on the cheeks. I will probably dip back into that as well for a powder highlight later, and maybe to put something on the inner corner of my eye because I still feel a little bare there. But I also wanted to grab this bullet lipstick, and this is another unmentionable, but it is such a beautiful, I don't know how to describe it. It's got a beautiful shift to it, and I just like using it as a highlighter. Picking up what I dispensed on the back of my hand and just tapping that again over where I put the Huda Beauty, but I do think this has a little bit more sparkle. And then I am gonna come back in with my contour just to get some color on my ears here. Yeah, so much better. Oh no, my ears don't look naked. Well, that is pretty much the creams other than concealer, which I'm gonna go ahead and use. For concealer, I'm gonna use the Revolution Infinite Conceal and Define in the shade C1. This is just gonna go right in the inner corners to brighten up. And then for the under eye, I'm going to be using my NYX Studio Photogenic Concealer in CW01. And then this will go under the eye as well as in the center of the face. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the concealer on. I will probably get my brows, my mascara, all that fun stuff that's just the usual done. And then once I have the concealer blended out, I will be back to do foundation, setting powder, and then just put on all the powder products. Okay, beauties, so I am back. I got my concealer on, blended out, and I did go ahead and set that just under the eyes. Also did my brows using the usual NYX brown brow pencil, and I also put on some mascara, just the top lashes for right now. I used both the Curl Elevation from Revolution and the AOA Big Boss mascara. Now I'm going to get the under eyes done just so that I can get this out of the way. First thing I'm gonna do is take the first brush that I used and the first orange shade, just going to put that all along my lower lash line. I'm trying to remember what I was babbling on about. I want to say it was my job. But yeah, so after I got fired from that job, I was pretty good at not getting fired from any other positions. Like I said, I've been laid off just due to like COVID or the fact that it was like a seasonal hire and they weren't going to take me on as like a full-time hire. But this was the second time that I have been actually fired, let go, dismissed, whatever you want to call it. This was the second time, and it was nothing like the first. I only had 2 people in the room. They were my manager, and I guess she could be considered the general manager, but she definitely wasn't as hands-on as the manager. Her title was CEO, So I'm not exactly sure what she did, but so it was really just her and my manager in the room. And I don't know why my manager was in the room because she didn't say anything. She just sat there and smiled, which I found really fucking like placating to me, you know, making sure that, I don't know, I wasn't mad at her. But yeah, it just did the opposite. I was really offended and I was like, I just wanted to get out of the room as soon as possible. So the first thing that they said was, you know, it seems like you're not happy here anymore, which I agree with. Something about me not being happy and that my attitude was showing that. And today was going to be, they've decided that today was going to be my last day. And once I heard that, like, I tuned everything else out and I was just waiting for her to give me the check that she had in her hand for me. And then once I got that, I left, like, I was just like out.
And again, very unprofessional because they did it, even though it was more towards the end of the day, usually just me, if I was the owner of a business, I would fire my employee at the top of the day, so that way, 1, I got them out of my hair, 2, they were able to go along and do whatever they wanted to do for the rest of their day, 3, hopefully nobody had come into work, or patients, customers, whatever you want to call them, hopefully they hadn't arrived yet either. But these people, they did it, like I said, just before the end of the day. There were still patients in the waiting room, there were other coworkers all in the front desk covering my position because I had to go into the office to get fired. And yeah, I got to walk out to all of them and let them know right then and there that I was just fired and I needed to collect all of my shit that they were sitting on and get out of their way.
But yeah, other than that, it was whatever. I was happy to be on my way out the door and get a little vacation. So that's exactly what I did. I took a week off and then I'm going to take that middle shade that I didn't use. And this is going to be what I use to blend out the lower lash line. So I took a week off and then after that started applying for different positions that I could. And yeah, I just had an interview on Monday. It's now Thursday and it went really well and I got hired. So I'll be starting that new position on Monday. So all's well that ends well. But yeah, so we'll see how I like it here at this new place. It's pretty much the same thing that I was doing, other than that's not true at all. I was doing like 4 different things, like 4 different jobs, like 4 different people could do those jobs, be hired to do those jobs, but I was doing them all. And now I'm just going to be doing one job that I know I'm very good at. So I'm not worried at all about liking the actual work. I'm more or less so just hoping that I get along with everybody that I'm going to be working with. So I've just been catching up on television programs. I mean, I haven't been completely useless. I feel like this is pretty much the eye done. I am going to pop something in my inner corner for highlight, but I did want to swatch these other shimmers just because I am curious as to what they look like.
So this gold right here, yep, just regular old gold, nothing special. And then this gold right here, more of a coppery gold, but they look identical. That's so ridiculous. This one's slightly deeper, I would say. And then this is the only other shade I didn't get to use. It's like a very deep bronze color. Again, I didn't use these because they just weren't calling to me as much as this one. This one that has kind of like a pink shift to it. But they are pretty smooth and very pigmented.
I do think that I made a good look with this. That is basically the entire Topaz eyeshadow palette from Huda Beauty. So now that I've got the bottom lash line done, I am going to pop on some foundation just because we've got the under eye set already. And this is basically the last thing I need to put on before I set my face. And I'm just going to be using my CoverGirl BB cream in light to medium and my Flower Beauty sponge to apply this. So I think that that is looking real nice. Gonna take the little bit that was perfect that I have left and just dab that over my nose. And I know usually people who use a BB cream don't set it, or at least the people that I watch on YouTube, they usually don't set it, but I can't not set my face. So I shall set my face. But yeah, other than just catching up on television programs, applying for a new job, I've been keeping myself busy with my other hobbies. I was able to make this. I'm so proud of it. sorry, you're seeing the inside, but this is the outside. Look at it. It's a cardigan. I made it. I made this.
So I did make this. The sleeves are one length too long. Like, if I cut off this square and attached the ends to this square, it would be so much better. But other than the very long giraffe sleeves, I am so proud of myself. I can't believe that I made that in 2 weeks.
It definitely tried my patience. I freaking sewed the sleeves on backwards twice, so I had to take them off twice. And then the border around the bottom of it, I'm not kidding when I tell you this, it's not an exaggeration. I had to restart that border 20 times. 20 different times I had to restart that border, but I was determined. So happy and proud of myself that I did that. I haven't been a complete lazy slob. Now that I do have my setting powder on, I'm gonna use a ColourPop cream gel liner. This one is in the shade Peach Fuzz, and that's gonna go in my waterline. Now this color kind of just looks like the color of my waterline, so I can't tell if it's that or if it's just my waterline, but that went on really smooth and pigmented, so cool. Mascara done. Now we're just gonna get into all the powder products. The last thing that I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about is what is going on in today's society as far as the climate politically and just different things that are going on and laws that are being passed or at least put up for debate. And it's just really, really worrisome. I did want to keep this as light as possible, but these things do need to be discussed. And I do think that if I was to not talk about them, feeling the way that I do and being as invested as I am, not that I'm super political or super into activism. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I see it every day, literally every day for the last... I'm using my Laura Geller medium Baked and Brighten foundation and that same brush that I used for my nose contour just to start contouring with my powders. But yeah, if I didn't say anything, I would just feel like, why am I even bothering to post on social media? Because I don't feel that I'm doing this for clout or for fame or to get monetary gain from it. Like, would that be awesome? Sure. Like, I don't know if I would necessarily want that or if I would mind that, but what I am saying is that if you're watching me, if you're participating in my social media at all, I would hope that we shared some of the same views, and if not, we could have a civil discussion about, you know, where they differ, why they differ, and all that good stuff. This ColourPop fluffy angled brush, I'm gonna contour my face using this. Just seeing it every day definitely starts to take a toll on you. I definitely think it possibly could have even been one of the reasons that I no longer work where I used to work, just because I was so anxious every day and so depressed. I would get depressed at work and it really just wasn't healthy. But I do know that a lot of it comes from me just worrying about what's happening in the world and why is it happening the way that it's happening. Because I thought that once we had gotten Trump out of office, like, things were going to be not better. Like, I knew that it wasn't going to be in, you know, polar opposite like climate as far as you take Trump out, you put in any Democrat, Biden, or anybody that was running that wasn't freaking Trump. I just thought that things would see a gradual progression to where they were going before we had gotten Trump. Sorry, I did not put that man in the office. Before Trump had been put into office. Because I did feel like when President Obama was president, LGBTQ issues were definitely being addressed in positive ways. Laws were being passed to protect people that were trans or gender nonconforming, to help LGBTQIA plus people get married and adopt babies and become the family that they've always wanted. You know, I really saw things changing for what seemed to be the better. I knew that things weren't going to go that route whenever Trump got voted in. I knew that wasn't going to happen. I wasn't delusional, but I was hopeful that things wouldn't digress to the place that they have. I mean, not only LGBTQIA plus people are being attacked, especially the trans community, but women's rights are being attacked. No matter what you identify as far as gender or sexual orientation, everybody's rights are kind of being threatened right now by our government and what they're trying to propose and get passed into law. I know it seems like maybe you aren't part of any specific community that is being attacked right now or threatened right now, but once one community's rights and basic human privileges get attacked and stripped away from them, it's only a matter of time before they start coming after everyone else's. It really is crazy to me that people can chalk all bad. I'm going to dive back into the Park Ave Princess palette from Tarte, and I'm going to be using this shade here called Carrot as my bronzer. And it's stuff that should not be even remotely considered news, and then people are blowing it out of proportion, like with a drag queen who's doing a story time. I don't know why Christians feel the need to threaten that child story time with a drag queen with assault rifles or gun violence of any kind, especially in the climate that we are in today, where it is 4 months into the year. And let me just do a quick Google.
How many shootings happened in America in 2023?
So I just did a quick Google and found this article online that says there have been, and this was published on March 27th of 2023. There have been 128 mass shootings in America since the start of 2023, which was only 4 months ago. But drag's the problem. I literally am getting emotional again, so I'm not going to go there.
I'm going to go into my highlight. So for highlight, I did want to use this, but I didn't. It's fine. For highlight, I am going to dive back into the Huda Beauty palette, and I think I'm going to mix these two, and then I'll probably even pop a little bit of that just on my blushiest areas.
I'm going to take a Luxie 522. This is a tapered highlighter brush. I do think that these Huda powders are a little powdery. Like, there's a little kick up in the pan, a little more than I would like. You saw that. And I'm just gonna tap before I blend. Oh, I also didn't let you guys know, for brow bone highlight, I used the ColourPop loose highlighter from the Becky G collaboration in Cheese May. Yeah, I just want to reiterate that I'm not an activist in the sense that I would. And to highlight my nose, I'm going to take the Dew Color number 9 brush. I would just say my the point of me talking about this is I hope that you guys are not being, I don't know how else to say it, but I just hope that you guys are not being brainwashed by this utter propaganda BS that for whatever reason, someone getting dressed up, putting on makeup, and putting on an entertaining show, that is the problem with America and why kids are being shot in their schools. Just hope that you guys are being safe out there. I hope that you guys are really looking into these issues and educating yourselves and the people around you who might not be as worried or as in danger as some of the other people that you know, or even yourself if you are part of any of these communities that are being attacked and threatened, especially with what is going on as far as laws and bills being passed. I do know that trans people are literally trying to be erased from this world, and it's disgusting and it's uncalled for and it's inhumane, and I just don't see how anybody with a conscience and a heart and a logical thinking mind would be able to look at our community, my community, the community that I love and am so happy and I'm so proud to be a part of, and see that as the catalyst for really see that as the catalyst for things going wrong in the world today. I'm going to tap into this pink color called Ibiza. I'm going to pop this just right here on the cheek, going into the highlight. Ooh. When I turn, you can really see that shine. I'm not getting too much of the pink pigment, so I don't know how good this would be as a blush. But as a highlighter, she's working pretty well.
Alrighty, so that's the Huda Beauty palette.
I am going to do one more highlight before I do blush. I'm going to take the Kimchi Chic Pearl Gone Wild highlight. If you guys do have the Kimchi X Trixie highlighter, this is one half of it, and then there is a pink half. So if you do have that one, I don't think you need this because this is just the one shade. If you want a full pan of it, I'm gonna pop this on using that brush that I used for my nose. And I would also very much love to encourage any and all of you, if you do have friends, family, loved ones who you even have an inkling, you even have a little hint, any kind of gut instinct that you have to reach out to someone who may be affected by any of the things going on in today's world, just reach out to them and let them know that you love them and you are here to listen to them if they ever need anybody to talk to, and that you wouldn't ever look at them any differently for feeling like, even though they're not directly involved in what is going on, they could at some point. And it's just not cool. I don't like it. So I've got 3 highlighters on. I feel like that's enough. I'm going to take these 2 blushes. So I have this Note blush called Desert Rose. This is going to go in the pocket. And then I'm going to take this shade from Sugar, and it's called Peach Peak. And this is going to go on the apples. Just going to grab my Trixie P11, and we're going to dive into this Note blush. This is one of the products that I got from a BoxyCharm that I've actually held on to because I just thought that this was the most beautiful. Its shade name is Desert Rose, but I definitely get more of like an apricot-y rose than a like a pinky rose, you know? So I really love this. Just took that a little bit into the eye look and then around the temple. See, do you guys get a pink? I don't get any pink from that, so I don't get a... I mean, I don't really know what a desert rose is, but anytime I think of a rose, I definitely think of like a pink, but not with a... Lastly, Peach Peak. So this is pretty much the look for today. Oh my gosh, you guys. An inner corner highlight. I'm just gonna pop into that Pearl Gone Wild highlight from Kimchi Chic on the same brush that I used to apply my brow bone highlight, little Wet n Wild lip brush. And then we just need to add on a lip. Okay, beauties, so this is pretty much the finished look. We're gonna pop on a lip and then I will come back to wrap the video up with you. Alrighty, beauties, so I am back with the completed look here. I did add some little flowers onto the side just because they made me feel good. And yeah, I'm happy with how that turned out. I am really loving this neutral eye, and for me, that is definitely saying something. For the lip, I used a Wet n Wild Perfect Pout Gel Lip Liner in Lay Down the Mauves. And then for a lipstick, I used the She Glam Lip Sip Hydrating Lipstick in Twin Flame. And yeah, I think this is a beautiful lip combination. But this is the completed look, guys. I really do hope that you enjoyed chit-chatting with me, and hopefully you got to get ready with me as well. Hopefully you're loving your makeup look. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys sticking around with me if you have stuck around to the end of the video. Again, all your love and support, you guys, I always really do appreciate it. And you guys hanging in there with me really does show me that you guys care. So like I said, if you have anyone in your life that you love, reach out to them, let them know that you are thinking about them and that you do care and that you're there for them. Other than that, you guys, I do hope that you are having a great night or day whenever or wherever you are watching this. If you haven't already, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing down below. Definitely comment, letting me know some of your favorite TV shows or movies that you're watching, things that make you happy, especially in these trying times. But I will go ahead and wrap this video up, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. I like that. I think I did like that.
Yes?
Did you go to Jersey Mike's?
No?
Oh. Did I interrupt your recording?
Yes?
I'm so sorry.
Fiddlesticks. Come here, you. Take this Kimchi Cheek.
This? Nope. I'm gonna be... Is it called Butterbeer? I'm using the matte... What is this? Okay.
I think shaking it with the lid off, probably not the best idea.
Placating.
Whoops. Sorry.
I got mascara on this sweater. I bought this sweater to look like Casey Becker from Scream.
Dive back into the Princess... What is it? Park Ave Princess? I'm gonna dive back into the Park... Open up! Tarte, I'm going to be... Why? Why am I like this? I probably won't use that little tidbit.